Hey everyone, this is David for the Chicago Smart Radio Podcast, coming to you guys with a just a brief preview of these first round of the MLB playoffs. So the wild card round of these MLB playoffs. So I'm gonna just keep it just as brief as possible. Just a quick preview on the morning of these wild cards. So I'm going to start in the order of what I want to talk about or what I want to review or kind of preview, I should say, probably better yet said. Um, so the first series I kind of want to cover is that Guardians Tigers series. Now, again, you're going to get a lot of different opinions, right? Whether it be, you know, fans out in Cleveland, of course, they want the Guardians to win. And then, of course, the people in Detroit want Detroit to win. So I'm not talking about the fans or even the writers from those particular respective cities. Talk about the national analysts, right? And again, the national analysts, they see what they see. They dig in a lot more than I do, right? And I love baseball, but they dig in a lot more than I do. They have a lot more facts. They have their own uh, view or perspective on it. But I feel like a lot of these analysts, whether it be MLB Network, ESPN, what have you, um, I think they're looking at these series too much of what happened in the regular season, which is good, right? It's a good indication. They had to have won enough games to qualify, right? But the regular season is now it's over. Everybody is 0-0 now, right? Particularly this Cleveland Detroit series, and I get it that everybody wants to discredit the Guardians for erasing that 15 and a half game deficit they were in, right? Because the Guardians could have just kept on the roll, on a roll, on a roll, right? But if Detroit just kept winning, it wouldn't have mattered, right? So they want to say, well, it was more of a Detroit collapse than a Guardians, um, surpassing them, which they both can be right. But let's not take away credit from the Guardians because if a team looks at another team with maybe 6, maybe 5 weeks to go at that point, early September, late August, or something like that, and you're 15 and a half games behind, at this point, you're maybe just focusing on the wild card, not even thinking division. But those 26 men in that clubhouse, including their manager, Stephen Volt, was like, no, we're going to keep winning, guys. This feels good. We're going to keep doing what we do. You don't think that has some sort of effect or something that maybe those 26 men, including their coaching staff, have some sort of just, man, this feels good. We don't want to stop. And again, Detroit's going to throw out schoolball out there, right? Of course, you're going to go with your ace game one. Why not? It's a short series. Of course you are. That's not the point. This series can be a sweep either side, or it can go all three. I wouldn't be surprised. But the fact of the matter is, I'm picking the Guardians just because I feel like that momentum is just too big. They faced each other just recently. That momentum is way just too big. They're going on emotion. Sometimes that emotion can overtake you. But this is a good Guardians team, and I get it that I couldn't sit here and name you five guys off their team. The two guys that come to mind really quick off the top of my mind are Steven Kwan, Jose Ramirez. And those are the guys that have been leading that charge, right? Those are your vets that have been leading that charge. I know David Fry got hit in the face a week or so ago, maybe a week and a half ago by Scooble, not on purpose. If nobody has seen it, you guys should probably go see it. Just warning you, it's a little tough to watch if you're a little bit squeamish. She was going in for a bunt. Scooble was trying to just pitch him in, like I guess a little bit inside, so he doesn't get that bunt in, or maybe just was able to pop out or get the result that Scooble wanted. Scooble hit him in the face, and that man just looked like he threw his hat down and he just turned around and he just was like, Lord, please let this man be fine. He looked like he was distraught. Next pitch he threw was wild. He threw another one in the dirt. He was just not okay, right? And that's just the human side to it. You guys competing, but of course he doesn't want to hurt him. But that aside, right? I'm not saying that they're going to use that for motivation. They're going to be like, hey, we want to going to try to win for this guy, but that's not motivation to beat Schoolboy. It's hey, we want to beat the best to say we've beaten the best, right? Nobody's giving us credit nationally, other than maybe a few guys nationally, but the consensus is, well, Detroit, everybody's 0-0. Detroit's going to come in and beat Detroit. What the Detroit we saw in the first half. I don't know. Again, I don't know who's going to show up. Which Detroit's going to show up the first half? Detroit Tigers or the Detroit Tigers that showed up in the second half? It's not it's not as cut and dry as everybody thinks it is, and I'm going to pick the Guardians in this. I could be wrong, but I'm going to pick the Guardians. I say it probably goes all three. Honestly, I really truly think it goes all three. But if it was a sweep on either side, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised whatsoever. So that's that series. Second series in the American League, which is the heavyweight matchup for me. No matter what anybody says, that's Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox. That's my second favorite team behind my Cubbies. Um, I mean, again, that's another series that everybody is just like they're waiting for just Aaron Judge to go off, and he can. But Aaron Judge has been a little has not been as the same Aaron Judge in the regular season than he is in the playoffs. I think they put up his stats yesterday. He's hitting 205, 225, if I have that correctly. But again, that can all change, right? It's him putting his team on his back. There's no Juan Soto there anymore, and he proved that he can do it without Soto this year, which I didn't think he couldn't. But it's it's I mean it's again, this is another toss up, and again, everybody's picking the Yankees and not giving these Red Sox enough credit. Again, regular season, they haven't hit Crochet very good. That can change in the playoffs. But again, who's had more success in the Bronx this year than the Boston Red Sox? So I'm taking the Red Sox. And again, this is another one. It's a toss up. It can go all three. It can really truly go all three, or it could be a sweep either way. It depends what happens. That game one is so pivotal, honestly, that whoever wins that game one possibly could be the one that wins it. Usually the odds favor the person that's won or the team that's won game one a lot more. But again, things can change. Those are just stats. Stats change. Things change. You never know, right? They can light up Crochet today for all we know, and that's enough motivation to carry them over. But again, picking the Red Sox in that one. Um, Thinking it's going all three on that one, just because again, it's two good teams. It's not like there's scrubs on either side of it, and they just guys just eked in, just squeaked in somehow. But that's going to be a good series. Again, hoping that it's a Red Sox victory. It's a Red Sox series victory, so they can move on to play. I believe it's Seattle, or do they play Toronto? No, I'm sorry, it's Toronto. So the winner of the Boston Red Sox Yankee series plays Toronto, which is another AL East matchup, which is going to be actually really good. Whoever comes out of that series, it's going to be a heck of an NLDS. On the other side, the winner of that Detroit Cleveland series takes on Seattle, and that's going to be a good one too. Because again, it's Seattle's first time winning the division in 24 years, and they're taking on again another team that's going to come in with some sort of momentum. But again, if it's those Guardians, a Guardians Mariners series, I know it may not sound that exciting and appetizing, but it could be a good series. It could be a really good series. Same with that Toronto winner of Boston New York series, Yankee series. It's good. These playoffs look really good. On the American League side, they look really, really good. Some exciting matchups there, depending on who comes out of these wild card rounds. Now, on to the National League. Let me start first with the Cincinnati Reds and the Dodgers, the defending champion Dodgers, excuse me, in LA. Again, overwhelming population are thinking that the Dodgers are going to pull this series out. Absolutely possible. It's not like again, you've got a bunch of scrubs on the Dodgers, but who is the Dodgers going to show up? Again, the Dodgers haven't exactly lit up the world. They had to struggle to win this year a little bit and get that division. And again, right, they had injuries. They were decimated on their pitching side, on their relieving side. They took their blows this year and they persevered. So congratulations to them. But again, they know it's again. I truly don't know how much these players really listen to what the national pundits are saying more than what that voice inside that clubhouse, whether it's their manager Dave Roberts, their coaches, their team as themselves. There's a lot of vets in there, right? They tasted World Series last year. They want it again. Of course they do. All these teams do on both sides, American and National League. Of course, they all want a World Series. That's the whole point of playing these games, right? You wanna play to win. You want a championship, right? Because if not, it's ultimately it's a failure. You guys may have made the playoffs, but ultimately you didn't get the goal that you wanted. Your goal wasn't completed, which was to win a championship, right? Regardless of what they say. Everybody wants to win a championship. But this game one, please pay attention to this game one. You got a Blake Snell, Hunter Green pitching matchup. I saw Hunter Green about 2 weeks ago when the Reds were playing the Cubs. And again, the Cubs sometimes don't play too good with some of these pitchers that are super, super good, throw really high velocity sometimes, um, and are just really good, like Hunter Green. And he's going back home. He's from the LA area. There's a lot. I mean, a lot of these players are just emotion, right? There's a lot of emotion. Can you control those emotions? Can you channel those emotions to get past the Dodgers? Again, Hunter Green in LA. Please, can somebody please, if somehow Cincinnati pulls this series out, can somebody not call this an upset? Somebody is going to call it an upset, right? If somehow Cincinnati pulls this out, again, another one that I can potentially see going all three. It's very much possible. This game one is a tone setter because if Cincinnati can pull this game out, I don't care what the final score is. It could be 10-9. I don't see that happening. I feel like this is going to be a really low score. Excuse me. Dry throat this morning. A really low scoring game. And that's how the American League side too. Like I wouldn't be surprised if some of these games are either low scoring games or games that are won late, like late inning, sixth, seventh inning, where you get a one or two runs that's gonna decide, right? Do not be surprised. LA knows this better than anybody. And I say this because people they have to be positive, right? There has to be positive talk in that room. But they know it because Dave Roberts said it last year. He says, hey, we need to get past that first round. We don't get past that first round. We can't talk about future and what's that matchup going to look up with this next team. We need to get there because they have really, really tough luck in that first round, right? He almost got fired last year because if they didn't get past that first round, Dave Roberts is not getting that extension, period. And I know I give Dave Roberts a lot of crap on here because he can be a little smug, but he's also not stupid. Does he make stupid decisions sometimes? Yes, but he's not a stupid manager, right? All managers make dumb decisions. And sometimes when they make decisions and they win, of course, right? They get to rewrite history and say, well, yeah, you said it was a dumb decision, but look what I did. It still worked out, right? But again, Dave Roberts knows that that man in that dugout over on the other side over there, Terry Francona, Tito Francona, that's no rookie. That man has been in some wars. That man knows how to win, right? He took this Cincinnati team. That man came out of guess semi-retirement because he had taken a year off because of his health. Came out of semi-retirement to manage his team. It just wasn't just to manage. I'm sure he likes the state of Ohio. He managed, in Cleveland with the Guardians. That's fine. But that man knows how to win, right? He hasn't ultimately won the big one, since he left the Red Sox, but he's been there before, right? He knows how to win, right? Dave Roberts, a former player of his. So teacher versus student, you can even say, right? A storyline. But Dave Roberts knows that that man over there, that other dugout, Terry Francona, is no sucker, right? He is very smart. He's very calculated. He's very cunning. He knows what he's up against, and he knows that this guy's going to throw out every weapon he possibly can to beat these Dodgers. So I just say, look at this series. All four of these series are very intriguing just because they all have different storylines. But this one right here and the Red Sox Yankees one is the ones that I'm most interested in besides the Cubbies, right? Not to say that the Guardians in Detroit wouldn't be good, but my focus is on those series because it's really going to be who makes those decisions. Who's bullpen, because it's going to be decided by bullpens. It always is decided by the bullpens. Can those bullpens hold those leads, whether they're 0-0 or it's 1-0, 2-0, whatever it is? Can they hold them? That is going to be a very intriguing series. And I don't think anybody's really giving Cincinnati enough credit because they sort of just fell into the playoffs because of the Mets collapse. Again, doesn't matter. They're there now, so they might as well take their shot. People can say whatever they want to say. Those are the ones that are outside looking in. The Mets fans, the Mets pundits, the Mets writers, the Mets, you know, staff themselves can say whatever they want. That organization can say whatever they want. That these guys just fell into it, right? It's their collapse that helped them fall into it, right? It's them just not giving up on themselves. So now that they're here, they're not just going to lay down and be like, "Well, we got here. We just fell into it. So I guess we might as well just let the Dodgers run over us and we can just go home and go on vacation early." I don't think so. That's not the mentality that's in there. You got Gavin Lux coming back to the Dodgers. Sometimes coming back to Dodger Stadium. Sometimes that stuff stays in your head, even though it's a business. Sometimes you take it a little personal that they didn't want you around, right? Whatever it was, whether he decided that he just didn't want that offer, or the Dodgers said that they just didn't want him anymore, right? They take that personal. Sometimes it's these little personal battles that we're not really looking at. So please do not be surprised if the Dodgers see an early exit, or don't be surprised if they win. And you're like, well, Dave, you're not really picking anybody, right? Again, it's hard to really pick this one, but if I really had to pick, I'm probably going to go with the Reds. And that's not because I hate the Dodgers. It's just sometimes it's momentum, and I feel like there's something special going on there. But again, the Dodgers can steamroll them, and I can be wrong. So at the end of these series, I'm gonna come back and say, hey, I was wrong, or I was right, or I couldn't believe that happened. I'm gonna give you guys a whole breakdown of this wild card round, so that we can talk about the NLDS next, right? Whoever those opponents are gonna be. So in the winner of this Dodgers Cincinnati series is gonna take on Philadelphia. I can't even talk about that yet because on Cincinnati, Philadelphia, that's a different story. We'll see. A Dodgers, Philadelphia, that's a very different story. Which, again, the Dodgers don't exactly have an easy road right back to that championship. They're taking out a very hungry and very determined Cincinnati Reds team. To get past them, they then get to Philly, who Philly wants another shot, right? They're not in the wild card this year. They're in the division round waiting for you to see who wins. It's not going to be easy to get to that championship, right? To then face the winners of the respective NLDSs. It's not going to be easy. They're going to have to fight for it. Just like all these other teams are going to have to fight for it, but the Dodgers are going to have a heck of a defense that they have on their hands. Last series, I want to talk about is my Cubbies against the Padres. Again, that Padres bullpen, and I've said it before to people that I've talked to about, is very scary. But the Cubs must score early and often to win this series. Taking them because they're my Cubbies. Of course, I'm not going to pick against them. They're my Cubbies. Again, another one that can go all three. But this Matt Boyd start today is so pivotal and important to set the tone. They need to score early. They need to score often against Pavetta. Boyd needs to hold on. I know that he has those rough first innings. If he can get through that first inning and just build on that first inning and take that emotion that he was expressing yesterday, not anybody not seen the presser where they were talking to him about how it felt about pitching this game one. The man, I mean, if you don't love baseball, if you're not romantic about baseball, then man, I'm not sure if that pressure, that question he answered yesterday is going to set anything emotionally off for you, but it did set something emotionally off for me. It's This man is very proud to pitch for the Chicago Cubs. His grandfather was from Chicago, was a Cubs fan. So, he says his grandpa was really happy. That was one of the happiest moments of his life when the Cubs won in 2016. So, man's going in with a lot of emotion. Can he take that emotion and channel it and not let that emotion and nerves get to him? He's been there before. He's pitched before. San Diego's not a bunch of scrubs either. So, I don't want to be like, oh, why is everybody picking San Diego? San Diego's a bunch of scrubs. No, they have Tatis, they have Machado, they have a lot of good weapons in there, but that bullpen is their strength. That is their strength that they have over the Cubs. But can those guys show up? Even though this is a day game, when those bright lights, right, that spotlight, even though it's going to be day when they play at 2:08 today, can PCA take all those nerves, all those emotions of his very first playoff game and put them into something positive? The man does not have to be Superman. He does not have to be Michael Jordan, right, in the finals, right? He just has to be PCA. He has to just do what PCA does, and that is cause chaos, right? Get on base. See if you could steal a base, right? If somehow hit yourself into a home run, fantastic. But don't go up there swinging for the fences unless you see something that you know you could put in the bleachers or you could put in the seats. Go up there and just be PCA, right? That goes for Swanson. Swanson's been there before. He been there all the way with Atlanta in 2021. They won the World Series, right? There's guys in there that have experience, right? You have a Justin Turner. I don't want to see Justin Turner play any of these games unless he is coming in because they are losing big or they're winning big and they just need a replacement, whatever, right? I do not want to see Justin Turner in any of these games. If anything, Justin Turner can serve as that calming force because he's been there before to say, hey, let's take it easy, guys, to the young guys, right? Matt Shaw, right? Your PCAs, your Nico Horners, who can have played playoff games before, Ian Happ. But again, right, these are the guys that need to just channel everybody in and say, hey, game one today. We can't worry, two, three, whatever. If Milwaukee's waiting for us, whatever. Milwaukee's there. Milwaukee will be there. Milwaukee's not going anywhere because they've already won the division. So they're going to take on the winner of this series, whether we win it or the Padres win it. So don't worry about the next round. Worry about now. Game one. That's all. One game at a time, one inning at a time, one pitch at a time. Right? Score early, score often, where that bullpen does not make a difference. Right? Meaning that in the reverse, right? To Uno reverse this, so to speak, right? Is if you guys got a lead, your bullpen now has to come through, right? Where if you make their bullpen irrelevant because you guys got a big enough lead where you feel like you could give up a run or two and it won't be really big. But if it's a 1 to 2 run game, their bullpen sure is going to make a difference because it's going to hold it to 1 or 2 runs, depending on if they're up one or two or if they're down one or two. Now your bullpen has to do the same, right? They have to either hold it to 1 or 2 so you guys can come in and score because you're down by 1 or 2, or hold it because you guys are winning by 1 or 2. This is a really good series, and people are not giving enough credit to any of these two teams. It's almost like I heard it like this yesterday from one of the analysts on MLB Network. He said, hey, the winner of this series has to take on Milwaukee, and it's almost like a foregone conclusion. Milwaukee's just going to run over whoever the two teams are. One of the two teams is either the Cubbies or the Padres that are going to go into Milwaukee. Milwaukee's too strong. I see them making the NLCS. So you're already saying this is just doesn't matter who the series is a throwaway. They're going into the slaughter into Milwaukee. I don't know about that, right? Milwaukee's a great team, but I cannot talk about Milwaukee facing a Padres or a Cubs until that happens. Right now, it's the Cubbies. I see it could go in. I could see it could go three, only because I know for sure we got Boyd today. Tomorrow we might have Imanaga with an opener perhaps, and then Game 3 it might be Tyone. Again, we don't know. Right now, Craig Counsell's playing it close to the vest, even though Mike Schilt has announced that it's going to be Pavetta today and Dylan Cease tomorrow. Right, not going beyond tomorrow, which is fine. It could be you Darvish game 3 if there's a game 3. Again, the Cubbies just need to take it easy, one game at a time, one inning at a time, one pitch at a time. But I think that they've already heard everything. They're going to keep hearing it. They're going to keep getting asked questions from now until first pitch. They need to just channel those emotions. They need to just take everything. The video from Anthony Rizzo last night was fantastic. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It's on the Cubs page on X, and I'm sure that's all over the place. So I'm sure if you look up Anthony Rizzo hype video, you're gonna find it on X or even just Googling it. All those hype videos, everything Matt Boyd said yesterday, great console playing it close to the vest and not giving too much away. Take all that, take a moment, breathe, guys. It's gonna be all right. Regardless of how this series ends, I do want to cover off season. Hopefully, I won't be covering that very soon as far as an off season for the Cubs, but I have some thoughts. I have some stuff that I've written down about off season plans for the Cubs, how I feel that in what direction they should go. And again, let me circle back around. Speaking of off season, got one more thought here as I'm thinking about it. Kyle Tucker, right? I don't know if he's going to play the outfield. Craig Counsell said he might. I didn't say game one, but he said he might play the outfield. He might just start him out there today, and Suzuki might be the DH, right? I don't know, what Kyle Tucker we're gonna get, right? Can Kyle Tucker what is he gonna be an X factor? What's Kyle Tucker gonna bring to the table? Whether he's in the outfield or even just hitting, right? What's he gonna bring, right? If it's something where he normally would be able to just get an easy double, is it just something where there's just gonna be like, well, his legs are not there, his hamstring's still not 100%. He's not gonna be able to run out that double. Is he gonna do any steals? Well, how is he feeling, right? His health is an X factor to the series, right? Right? And Tatis just loves those bright lights, right? You literally got Tatis and PCA, and I would say they're about the same. And sometimes in a lot of things they're polar opposites, but they love that spotlight. And I know Tatis loves that spotlight, and people are really going to get to see that playoff Fernando Tatis. And who's going to show up? Is it the one that likes to troll a lot, even if his team is down and just likes to talk that trash, or his team is up and he's just trolling the fans? We're going to see. But again, bunch of series. I think a lot of these national guys are looking past these series, looking past the divisional round, and already predicting, and that's great. You want to fill out your bracket? Say, hey, this is who I think I was going to win. That's great. But they're looking past a lot of these little just matchups, and these little things, and these little tangibles, these little X factors that they're looking past that could make a difference in a series. So we're going to see what happens. I'm going to come back to you guys at the end of these series, whether they end in 2 games or whatever. I'll come back to you guys before the weekend or at this point, some point this weekend, to talk about the upcoming series that are going to happen in the divisional round. Thank you guys. Have a blessed day.